Hello and welcome to Talking Good Games match preview of West Ham United against Sheffield United. Valentine's Day tomorrow. West Ham fans will be hoping to fall in love with 3 points on Monday. Gonzo, your thoughts on our opponents as always, Sheffield United?
Or just give them a good roasting. My thoughts on Sheffield United. I'm a hopeless romantic, mate, of course. My thoughts on Sheffield United.
As long as you buy them a drink first, it'll be alright.
You got to do that. Yeah, you've got to be a gentleman, my friend. You've got to be a gentleman. They're a funny old football club, really. I don't understand what's going on with them. Let's just separate the club from the manager, who is, I think, a really, really talented guy. I did a little bit of research before doing this, and just to see what's going on, because if you remember Burnley, just before we did the Burnley preview, you said Burnley had just been taken over. So we've just had a transfer window. I'm thinking, well, where's the money? What's the point? They've got no money to spend, clearly. Now, the Sheffield United owner is Abdullah bin Masad bin Abdulaziz Al Sadd, which would indicate that, I mean, it's Al Sadd. That's a Saudi. Is that from the House of Saud? It's a Saudi royal family, right? As far as I know. And he's meant to be very, very rich. I just wonder why are they not spending an awful lot of money? Why didn't they spend money to try and get themselves out of the predicament that they're in, which is, quite frankly, cut adrift at the bottom. I think last time I looked, they had 11 points. Whether they still do, I don't know. But they didn't have very many points. They could get out of it if they spent money. It appears to me like the club have turned a corner in performance, albeit not results. Even the matches they're losing, they seem to be in them. You know, they seem to be close. So I just think it's a strange one to have these rich owners who are clearly not putting the money in to buy the players. And I just wonder if they've made a decision to actually, we'll go down. Because that doesn't make any sense. They're billionaire owners and then not spend loads of money to keep you up. I don't know. I just think it's a strange one.
I think it makes sense. I think if we've looked at it and thought, you know, the 14 points behind Newcastle United at the time of speaking, who are just 17th in the league, I think they've looked at it and, you know, if someone to be that rich and successful, they would weigh up things in terms of data and mathematics and therefore probability. And the probability is they're not getting out of that regardless of who they brought in. They've spent big in summer, and they've probably realised that spending big doesn't necessarily translate to success. You know, they've got in Ryan Brewster, who, I could be wrong, hasn't scored a goal for them yet. So that he's probably thinking, well, if 20 million is going to get us a striker that can't score a goal, you know, why would I spend another £20 million on trying to get players in? And I think what they've done is the right thing. I think it's be conservative, keep your money, get your house in order for the Championship next season. Hopefully, the greatest escape happens, but chances are it won't. Therefore, let's just leave Wilder what he's doing. Let him work out the players that he did bring in that perhaps haven't had a fair crack at it, like Bogle and Lowe. Let's get them in the team, have a look at them, see if they're going to cut it. Are they good enough to win the Championship next season? Because that's got to be their aim. They have to win the Championship next season. Let's work out who's going to be here next season and that. And I think eventually, at the minute, they're still fighting for Premier League. They'll still be hoping. It's not over till it's over. And the teams that are down the bottom are bang out of form, so they're hoping they can catch them. But eventually, come April, May, they'd be better off just playing the players that's going to be there next season and having a look at the youngsters and seeing what they can do and if they can step up, kind of thing. I mean, do you think it is over for them? 14 points behind Newcastle, 23 games played. I mean, surely, I know it's not over till mathematically, but...
Absolutely. Look, the fat lady maybe is not singing yet, but she's packing down a pack of 12 Krispy Kreme donuts and gargling to warm up her vocal cords. Let's put it that way. They are gone. They are absolutely gone. There's no way that you can turn that around, and I can say that quite comfortably without any fear of being turned into a meme. They're gone. They absolutely are. It was a horrendous start to the season. Mitigation, we've discussed it before. The loss of the home crowd, who are noisy and vociferous, is a massive one for them. That Bramall Lane crowd was something else. It really was. So that has been a massive loss for them. They haven't really adapted to it. We've discussed it before. West Ham have been one of the beneficiaries of no-fan football. They haven't. They've certainly suffered as a result. There's no way they can claw that back. It really is. And also, you've got to look at the clubs above them as well. I even think, as we record this, what Burnley and Crystal Palace are playing now. Look, one of those is going to win that game, or
it's 3-0 Burnley.
Is it really? Blimey. Yeah, well, there you go. I reckon Burnley will win that one then, Geo. And even Newcastle, and I think I was looking at the stats the other day, which is a weird one for me. Newcastle have the least attacks of anyone in the Premier League, right? At least it's crazy, isn't it? And by Callum Wilson and don't attack. But anyway, they still can pick up points, and they're not going to pick up no more points at the end of the season. That's really what Sheffield United need, and loads of teams above them not to pick up many points. Not going to happen. They're gone.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's a shame, really. I think they played okay these games this season. When I watched them, they've got beat. I think they've played okay. I think, off the top of my head, they got smacked against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. But apart from that, I don't think they've got beat by more than 2 goals in any game this season. They've just been unlucky. I think they've just been not good enough. That's all it is. And Wilder's now starting to get a bit of a settled side. I think there's some players playing really well. The loss of Jack O'Connell is huge, and I don't think it's talked about enough. I mentioned it last time I played them. I don't think it's talked about enough in the Premier League. Everyone goes on about Van Dijk. Well, Jack O'Connell's the exact same importance for Sheffield United. Wilder's struggled. He was changing his back three every week. His wing backs were getting changed. Stevens was out for a long period of time. The midfield was missing Lundstrom and Fleck. They are now back. Now Sander Berg's out. He can't even play his first team midfield. I think he's been able to play all season. Someone's been missing at all points. Someone's missing from defence. Someone's missing up front. And then, of course, the biggest error they made was replacing one of the best keepers in the league with the worst keeper in the league. I think that's the biggest mistake. Ramsdale's shocking. He's an awful goalkeeper. He might be good enough for the Championship, but he's part of the reason they're on their way down to the Championship. I think he's just crap. But how are they going to replace Dean Henderson, who was worth at least £40 million kind of thing? It was just ridiculous. Keep Wilder, promotion next season. Is that their aim?
Oh, they won't. Yeah, of course they won't get a better manager than him, unless, as I say, the owners start spending money, which would appear that they wouldn't anyway. So, I mean, he's a great manager. He's a really, really good manager. He really is. I think it might do him a bit of good as well, to have a little, I was going to say have a little break. Everyone's had a massive break, but it might enable him to be refreshed. He seems a bit grumpy and a bit grouchy, which you can totally understand, by the way. I think that'd be a totally different proposition. There's nobody better suited to get them promoted from the Championship than that manager. I'll tell you that way. They couldn't get anyone better in it. Would be you'd almost laugh at the stupidity of the owners if they sacked him.
Yeah, I completely agree. I hope they stick with him. I think they will. Wilder, often you watch managers and some of them look like they're cracking up sometimes. Wilder's never really come across like that to me. He's always humorous. He's a big character. He's infectious. And whenever I watch Sheffield United, while I've said they played well, I also think they're still fighting for the manager, for the club, whatever. They're still putting in 100%. And while we think they're gone, the players aren't playing like they're gone. The players are still scrapping for their lives down there. And I think there's a lot to be said for that, because I've watched West Brom under Allardyce, who's only just gone in, and they look like they've given up half the time during. They've got to go down. They're like, that's it, bugger it. Whereas Sheffield United, I've never really had that vibe from. Anyway, final question about our opponents, as always, players you admire.
No, not very many. If the truth be known, Geo, to be fair, they're obviously down the bottom for a reason. A lot it was miraculous. One, I like Bogle. The rest, and I did like Burge, but he's not playing, so I'm not talking about him. They do have these strikers, not just Brewster, who they pay big money for, but the other geezer with a beard from Swansea, who couldn't hit a donkey's what's it with a banjo as well. I think they paid £20 million for him. He can't score a goal either. So they don't really have very many good players. But that's why they're down there. But it was why it was remarkable what Wilder had done, particularly last season, to get that. But I think it possibly would almost be unprecedented in the Premier League what he'd done last season. And again, I felt they were hindered again by the lockdown. I wouldn't put it past him. If the season hadn't have been interrupted, they had such momentum. If the season had been interrupted, that they might have got European football or something like that. I wouldn't have surprised me at all, Gio. That's how good he is. The individual players, I'd be lying and making things up if I said I looked at the team and thought, oh yeah, crikey, that Lundstrom, he's good, isn't he? So no, I mean, nobody in particular.
I think recently, in the last few weeks, I think Hampton has been absolutely brilliant for him. Now we're seeing the hype, if you like, around him. He went out to Germany last season. It wasn't the best loan spell. He's now on loan from Chelsea down to Sheffield United. I think he's been brilliant in the last few games. Slotted in at centre back. He was sort of midfield centre back. He's now centre back, and he's becoming a key player for them. I think he's really starting to earn his stripes as a Premier League player, and I think a lot of clubs around the size of West Ham in a similar situation. West Ham will be looking at Ampadu thinking, hang on a minute, we can get him in the summer. He's not good enough for Chelsea, but he's more than capable of being a really good Premier League player. I think he's been brilliant. I think Bogle, like you said, I think he's come in and grabbed his chance, and I thought Baldock did quite well last season. Bogle's now sort of forcing him out the team a little bit at the moment. It'll be interesting to see if Lowe can step up to it. They played someone last week I'd never heard of in centre back, and even I was like, hang on a minute, I like to think my knowledge is not too bad on all this players, and then this guy come up, Byron or something. I thought, who's this guy? So I had to go look at him. But I think that's just why there's problems. He's not had any consistency with his team. Flex back in, Lundstrom's back in, they're looking good. Norwood's still looking at liability, is always in the middle of the park though. But yeah, it's just, it sums it up actually, because we often pick out 3 or 4 players of the opposition easily and say that guy's good, that guy's good, that guy's good. We're picking out 3 players from Sheffield United and we both pick one of them the same, so there's 3 different players between us. Which would insinuate that's what their problem is. They're just not quite good enough in terms of players. But that's it. Anyway, before we move on to West Ham United, Patreon. The thingy's there. Look at that fancy thing Charlie made. Support us on Patreon. Link is in the description, as it says on the tin. If you would like to know more, if you would like to support the channel from just £3 per month, £3.60 including VAT, you unlock more content, a player rating series, a weekly podcast for £3.60 per month for all that, and there's other tiers as well, so check it out, get more Hammers Chat content, a bit more me and Gonzo if you're that way inclined, you know.
We got something sneaky coming up.
We do have something sneaky coming up, so get involved and support the channel if you can, be much appreciated. Anyway, Gonzo, right, some issues. So Ogbonna out, Yarmolenko out, Lingard back, Balbuena unsure, Antonio unsure, but
keep talking.
Yeah, that's about it. That's it.
Okay, right. You want to see?
I want your formation. Been playing a back 4 recently. Was a bit crap against Man United. Switched to back 3 and we suddenly looked pretty decent. So what we're going to do here, no Ogbonna is a big factor in what you're going to do in this game, I think.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I'm scrapping it. I'm throwing it out. Actually, I'm not going to throw the book. I'm throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Okay, let's go with back 3. I like it. Let's do that. Let's go Balbuena, Dawson, and Cresswell as a back 3.
Give me your wing backs.
Okay, we'll go with Soufal, and we'll go with Johnson.
See, I would stick with a back 4 for this one. I think against the sort of better sides in Premier League, I'd be switching to a back 3. When we come up against like some Man United, Man City, that I would switch to back 3. For this one, I think I'd like to keep it a back 4 because we have been playing well against sides like Sheffield United with a back 4. So I think I would stick with the usual, and I'd bring. I don't know who I'd bring in though. It's between Balbuena and Diop, obviously, to bring in for Ogbonna. It's a bit 50-50 for me because I think Balbuena's a better defender, and apparently he was going to come on against Man United. Balbuena was going to come on, but when he was warming up to come on for Ogbonna, he felt his calf, and that's why Diop ended up coming on. So I think I'd go Balbuena, actually. I think I'd put him in there as well, and I'd also have. Well, to be fair, I'd like 3 centre midfielders for this one because Sheffield United play with 3 centre midfielders, and I don't really want to get crowded out. So I'd be looking to bring someone in there, but I'm not sure who yet. So how would you? You're obviously working out the rest of your team, are you?
I was counting. I didn't know how many players that was. I'll tell you what. I had 12 players in the team, and that was the way forward. That we was going to do it then, mate. We were going to.
What would you like to see up front? And Antonio's. It sounds like he's going to be part of the squad. How fit he's going to be is certainly up for dispute, but he's going to be part of the squad. So would you risk him, or what else we're going to do? What's our options here? What is our options? We've got, a 70% Antonio, Bowen, Lingard, Benrahma, Odebeko. Is there any other options? I think that's it.
Well, it's look, 70% Antonio should not even be in the matchday squad. Let's just get that right now. Okay, if he's in the matchday squad, I'm not going to say 100% fit because I understand the concept of someone being 95% fit and being on the bench and getting some minutes and getting fit for the next game. So I'm not stupid, right? But if he's not, if he can't play 60 minutes or something, or whatever the case may be, don't even bother. So if he's in the squad, I'm assuming he's fit. So I'm playing Antonio up front in this one. What are our options? A load of people who we've never seen play up front before, Geo. That's our options, basically. Bowen, he could play up front. I think he played 20 minutes there in a game in the finishing stages of a game once for Moyes. Jesse Lingard, Ben Rama. We are literally looking at midfielders to see if midfielders can play as a striker, and the options you said are our options. Odebeko, I think he should be on. I really feel strongly that he should be on the bench, but he wouldn't be starting, and nor do I think he should do.
Yeah, Bowen's played up front for Hull though. He's played up front for Hull in quite a bit.
Okay, yeah. In which case, then he is probably better qualified than the other two. In which case, I would probably go with Antonio.
I don't think I'd risk Antonio for this one, even if I was to get told. This is how sort of sceptical I am. Even if Moyes kind of said Antonio's 100% fit, I think I'd say no chance. Is he? I don't believe you.
No,
I don't believe you for a second, because we literally saw him a week ago. Bear in mind, I know we've had a game since, but that game was midweek, so it was literally a week today that we played Fulham that we saw Antonio pull up and have to go off and stuff. So I would go Jared Bowen up front, Ben Rama one side, Lingard the other, and I think I'd put... Do you know something? I'm tempted to put Noble in midfield, and I know that won't be popular, but I thought he played well against Man United. I thought he was one of our better players. But the only problem is, I think the reason he looked good is because he was fresh. He didn't. He's not fatigued like Souček and Rice are. They just look tired, whereas Mark Noble didn't. So I think I'd go Fornals. I think I put Fornals in there with Rice and Souček, because although the temptation to put Noble back in is there. But I just think we're far too lacklustre with those three in there. We need a little bit of something extra. But that's why I'm hoping Ben Rama and Lingard and Bowen up front adds a bit of pace, adds a bit of flair, a bit of creativity, everything that we were lacking. That would be my front three, I think. I think I'd put Bowen up there. But the good thing with that three is it gives you flexibility. So if Lingard found himself central and Bowen had to run after the left back for a bit, it's fine, they can do that. But here we are, we're talking about square pegs and round holes already. It's just a bit... It's not ideal.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad, Gio. It's bad. What we're going to do. It will be a feature for now until the remainder of the season, unless one or two things happen. Unless Antonio stays fit and firing, and/or we find a solution. Actually, you find Bowen plays there and starts scoring goals, and then it's a different conversation. But I suspect this will be a conversation that runs between now and the end of the season. We'll get to the end of the season with a massive sigh of relief and start trying to get excited about which striker we're going to bring in. So,
due to the result earlier, with Leicester City thumping Liverpool, that means that West Ham United win on Monday. We go fourth. We go back fourth. Possibly for only a couple of hours, depends on the Newcastle-Chelsea result, which is on after us. But certainly for a couple of hours, we go fourth, Gonzo. But regardless of going fourth, I think given the recent results, the recent performances perhaps, and the striker issue we find ourselves with, a very important game.
It is an important game, and it's not just for fourth, as any game for any team when they have a chance of going into Champions League positions is an important game. So even taking West Ham out of that, there's another reason why it's important for us though, and it's for morale. It's for morale of the fans primarily, by the way, I think, because I'm not entirely sure that the players are that downbeat, but it's important for the players as well to see that they can lose so many of their teammates to injury and actually then go and win a game. So what that will do for the players is it will reinforce their confidence in the coaching staff and the system. If they think, okay, without Antonio, without Ogbonna, without Yarmolenko, so on and so forth, okay, we can still do it. That's good. And it would make them confident, because they would think, okay, well, there's now even fewer games between now and the end of the season. We can really push for European football. And Moyes had been talking about European football, so that's important from the fans' point of view. I mean, it was really gutting to go out in a couple, almost worse, to get so close to penalties and go out. You almost would have preferred to get in 90 minutes, wouldn't you, really? And so it was, it's been hard. And I think the lift it would give the fans almost immediately to look at it, whoa, hold on, we're in fourth. We'd be happy again. You know what I mean? So it is really big.
Yeah, I think it's an important game, because I think against Fulham we weren't great against Fulham. Lost Antonio. Man United, the first half we were awful. Lost Ogbonna. So it's been two sort of bad games, not necessarily bad performances, but it's been two bad games for West Ham, and I think it's important that we get a win here, even a scrappy 1-0 win. We get 3 points on the board, get ourselves into a nice position in the league, and we just keep that dream going, keep that good feeling going, and try and get Man United out of our memories. It's not that quick sometimes, but if we lose, it sort of becomes a fear of the season sort of dwindling out, if you like. You don't really want that. You don't want to fail to win the next 3 games. All of a sudden, you're sort of looking at 8th and 9th finish in the table and say, a season that had so much promise at the start of January could enter April with not much promise left at all, and that would would be disappointing. I think it's a massive game for us, and if we can get the win, it's right, it's good for morale for the fan base, because at the minute I think everybody's a little bit, get the feeling everybody's a bit on edge at the minute, a bit feared that what was looking like promising could actually go out, and everybody's waiting to see what happens, and it doesn't help with our chairman, doesn't help. David Gold again yesterday on Twitter winding up the fan base, finding a tweet from literally a year ago and taking the piss out of the fan, and you just think, what have you done that for? Just shut up.
Oh, hold on, I didn't see that one. Okay, did I see someone who responded to something? Yeah,
right, yes.
Me? I might
let me just. I'll take me 2 minutes to find it, because David Gold doesn't tweet very often, so when he does, it's right at the top. So yesterday, David Gold tweeted, "Thank you, DG," to a fan. A fan tweeted him in March 2020. A fan tweeted him saying, "You are the reason where we are in the league." Obviously, we were down the bottom at this point. "Go back to Birmingham."
Oh, okay.
And he's quoted it and said, "Thank you, DG." And it's had 280...
Okay, I did see it. I didn't understand the context of the in an old tweet.
It's had 289 replies, which is pretty much a fan saying, "Dave, mate, there's no need for this." Obviously, the language varies from fan to fan, but basically they're saying, "This is not on. There's no need for that, Dave, and just we're not happy with you," kind of thing. And it's just wound the fan base up a little bit, and I just think a bad result on Monday would just further annoy the fan base. With all that said and done, though, are you feeling confident? You feeling good? Oh, you're frozen. No, you're not feeling good. You're frozen on me. Right, well, I'll tell you, mate. Oh, he's back. You're back. I think you're back. Are you confident, Gonzo?
Yeah, sorry, mate. It's been playing up for the last 10 minutes now, so I must excuse why I've been twiddling with me whatsits, really. I get the gist of what you were saying. Look, I think what it shows is he's rattled by it. For him to retrospectively go back and look at something from a year ago, it's clearly eating away at him. And if it is, I can tell you now, mate, right? That's one thing I've sussed out from the internet. You have an off button. Turn it off. Seriously, turn it off. Don't do something else. Go and play golf. Go and tend your gardens. Go and do any of the things you've got in your magnificent, lovely house. Do something else, but don't go on Twitter. Just don't do it. And it must be eating him away. He's too old for doing that anyway, to be riling up fans, and he shouldn't want to. He shouldn't want to, because what that is told you so. See, come on. It's the tactics of the schoolyards. Don't do it. He shouldn't be doing it, really. No, naughty.
Are you confident for the game?
No, I'm not. I think their performances, everything I said about them having rubbish players. I didn't say rubbish players, but I mean, but very good manager. And I also look at them. I don't know. The funny thing is, they obviously won against Bristol City in the cup, and Bristol had a man sent off, but it was still largely their first team. There were 8 or 9 players from their first team that played in the cup, which I know is the same for ours, but I almost thought, what you're doing. But it was nice for them to see them go for it, I guess. But they have been in these games. Even the Man City game, they were in it, So they clearly playing well. And even the Chelsea game, they had a similar amount of opportunities to Chelsea. Now, I know in that game, Tuchel was just getting his feet under the table and still trying to find his best team. But nonetheless, I am not mega confident. I do think we'll win, but I'm not super confident. I mean, really, this is a tap in, this one. Far from it. We're going to have to really, really work hard. But I do also feel that maybe we are the worst team that Sheffield United could play. Sheffield United want to be the bully boys. Sheffield United want to be the hard-working team. Sheffield United want
set-piece kings.
Get the impression, sorry, mate,
set-piece kings. Sheffield United, they want to be them.
All of that. And actually, we're not Chelsea. we're not gonna be able to sit back against us and soak up the pressure and hit us on the break, and that's just not how the game is going to play out. So actually, I do think we'll win, but I think we've got to be careful. They're a good team.
Yeah, I'm a bit wary. I think they've formed something like 6 wins from their last 9, including the cup games, of course. But they are in form, and a win's a win, even if it is in the cup. It's probably why Wilder's put out his first team, thinking, well, the league's done. Let's try and get some glory in the cup, and also let's get my first team boys out there, get a little bit of confidence in them. So we're going to West Ham with a little bit of momentum, and they will graft, they will work hard. This is going to be a battle on Monday, and that's my worry, because we are used to out-battling teams sometimes. I think, you say we're the worst team for Sheffield United play. I actually think Sheffield United will be thinking the same about us, going, good luck out-battling us. You want a bully, you want a physical battle, we're up for a physical battle kind of thing. And I'm confident about our defence. I'm confident that we won't concede, and if we do, we'll concede 1 at the very most. So that then implies, if you can score 2, you will win the game. I'm just not that confident about scoring goals at the minute. We were relying on set pieces a lot. It's good to score 12 goals from set pieces through the season, but then when teams sort of suss you out a little bit, or your set pieces aren't quite as good as they were a month ago, you find yourself in a little bit of a spot of bother, because those set piece goals have almost taken pressure away from those to create and score goals in open play. Yeah. It's alright, we don't need to score in open play. We'll get a corner, whip it in and head it in kind of thing. That's okay. But once those set piece goals dry up, which they have done, I feel, in the last few games, and they've not even been creating good chances from them, and suddenly it's like, well, Bowen, Benrahma, we're going to need you to create something. And it's like, we're struggling a little bit to do that. We do have better players, though. We do have better players, and we turn up, like I said, to put it simple, on paper, we turn up and play 10 out of 10 right attitude. We should win this game because we are better than them. But it'll be interesting to see what he does with the striker position, whether he risks Antonio or he tries Bowen or tries Lingard. I've got a feeling he'll try Jesse Lingard and put Fornals in there behind Jesse and see what happens kind of thing, and keep Antonio on the bench. It's going to be a tough game, but it's an important game for both of us. It's I think those that play Sheffield United towards the end of the season, when they are relegated, will have a better chance than what we do today. I think we're playing them at the wrong time, because they are working their nuts off to try and get this. So, can I get any final thoughts in your score prediction, please?
Yeah, I think you make your point right about the set plays. That being said, I think our 3 the goals against Villa, none of them were set plays. So I think we can do it, which is good. I think we can. I'm looking forward to it. It sort of would tie in with the way Moyes' teams sort of go. I think not only can we bounce back, I think we can bounce back with attacking quite a lot. And I often find that when we get a team sheet in, or we look at a team, or when we're expecting us to do really badly, I often find we get surprised, and we actually think, okay, well, blimey, this ain't bad. The Villa game was a case in point. We all saw the team line up before, and I said, what on earth is this? And actually we looked like Barcelona, didn't we? So I think we'll do all right in this one. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win. I
think so as well. I think Ogbonna's going to be a big loss. It's going to be testing for the defence. I think, like I said, I think Balbuena and Diop are decent. But are they as good as Ogbonna? I don't think they are. I think he's going to be a huge loss back there. And striker, what we're going to do kind of thing. But I do think we'll win. I think, while I think Moyes has got stuff to do in terms of his record against the Sky Sports top 6, I think his record against the other 13 teams in the Premier League is fantastic. We're top of the table in that little group. The other 14, we're top of that, which is massive. And that's probably the difference between us and Leicester City. Leicester City are picking up points against the Sky Sports top 6, including today, whereas we are not picking a penny, and that's why they are 3rd in the table and we're 5th at the time of recording kind of thing. So we want to get up there. We've got to start picking up points against them, but we'll deal with that later. For now, we've got to keep winning what we would call our bread and butter games, and this is one of them. This is one of the games that we have to win if we want European football. If we just want top half, a draw is fine. But I don't want just top half anymore. I want European football. We need a win. I think we're going to get one. I'm going to say, it's a 1-goal deficit for me. It's between 1-0 and 2-1. I'll say 2-1. I'll say we'll concede because of Ogbonna. So I'll say Sheffield United, West Ham 2, Sheffield United 1. Anyway, Gonzo, 6 o'clock kickoff, is it? Is it a 6 o'clock kickoff?
Oh, I don't know.
We're on first. It must be a 6 o'clock kickoff. Therefore, we will be live at 4:55 on Monday. If you would like to join us for our build-up show, our watch-along and our review, all the action starts here on Hammer's Chat. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video, and we'll see you at 4:55 on Monday. Gonzo, I'll see you then.